100% local. Tuesday Drive with Stephen. Good afternoon.
For anyone who's had to write an essay or a short story, the Humble Dictionary has been an absolute lifeline, certainly before the days of spell check on the computer. And yes, I am one of those people that do remember those days. I even recall the days of learning French at high school in Narooma, and I had the pocket French dictionary in my bag, which saved me a great deal of angst at the best of times. So when you consider how many First Nations people languages we have across this great country, it makes sense that there be a dictionary to preserve and educate. And I was thrilled to discover that one has been released here on the South Coast for the Dhurga language. Joining me is Trisha Ellis, who's a teacher, and she also focuses on language. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, Trisha, can you tell me, what is the language?
Dhurga language is one of the four languages that are spoken by the Yuin people, and Yuin people's country stretches from Sydney down to the Victorian border. There 13 major tribal groups make up the Yuin people, and we spoke four distinctly different languages.
So where did the idea come to create this dictionary? Because it's not something you just do every day.
No, in about 2000, my sister Kerry Boyenga was working at Browley Public School. She's been a teacher, and so's my brother Wayne. They've been teaching in primary schools for more than 30 years. The person who taught German language left the school to pursue other work, and as a result of that, my sister suggested to the then principal, why don't we teach a local Aboriginal language? And he said, do we have the resources and the information to be able to do that? And Kerry and then Wayne, who joined her in the teaching of the language, pursued funds through the Board of Studies, and were able to get a lot of support by a lot of really well-known linguists who helped us to research and recover quite a lot of our language. We started off with probably about 30 words, which grew to 300, and then eventually now we've got 730 words. And a woman who was studying to be a linguist at the Australian National University, Yuta Besalt, did her thesis on all four languages of the South-East Coast, and she recorded all the information, all the people who had actually made recordings, all the people who were the informants and gave us the words. And a lot of her research concentrated on the people in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and that's where our dictionary came from. In 2013, her thesis was made public, and I extracted the Dhurga words from the thesis, and that then became her dictionary.
How long did it take you to extract the Dhurga words?
Oh, it took a very long time to extract the Dhurga words and cross-reference them and check with other lists that were around at the time. We'd been teaching the local Aboriginal language when my sister and brother started it in Browley Public School. They taught there for 4 or 5 years, and they were able to pull together a kind of a dictionary to be able to teach with, but it was basic language. It wasn't putting sentences together and things like that. It was more of recovering and reviving our language and revitalising our language. As a result of Yuta's thesis, we were able to do a lot more, and now we can do sentences out of it, but it was a really big job actually extracting the words, and in the process I was actually teaching at TAFE at the time, and I taught Certificate 1 in Aboriginal languages in several locations, including Jervis Bay, Nowra, Narooma, Maruya, Ulladulla. I still continue to teach the language to community groups, not necessarily as an accredited course at TAFE, but as a result of all that consultation with people who did the courses, we were able to come up with what we now have as a Dhurga dictionary.
It must be such a joy though for you as a teacher to be able to teach this language, and I don't know how long the course goes for, but I guess at the end of the course, having people actually speak the language.
That's more than a joy. I love when Aboriginal people come into a room and they think it's just like going back to school, and they're really reluctant to be involved, and then within the first day of starting the language courses, people are just so proud of being able to speak our traditional language. It gives so much pride to people. It makes people, it's like finding something that's been missing and not realising that it was missing.
And what's the collaboration with Vincentia High School?
When the language program first started in Browley Public School, Gary Worthy, who is my brother-in-law, he and Kerry Boyenga did a joint venture between Browley Public School and Vincentia High School, and Vincentia High School went on to make it one of the electives at the school, and they were teaching Dhurga at the high school.
Now, Trisha, you mentioned before how proud it was, the fact that you can get the Dhurga language out there. Can I ask you what's your mob?
I belong to the Yuin people of Maria.
And where
my people have been around here for at least 65,000 years.
And did you work closely with them at all?
Yes. I work with the Maria people, I work with everybody. As I said to you before we did the interview, I taught at TAFE for about 33 years, so I've worked with all Aboriginal communities all up and down the coast.
And before I let you go, I'm going to ask for something very unusual. I'm going to ask for a very quick lesson on air, Trisha. How do I say hello and how do I say goodbye in the Dhurga language?
That's easy. We say Wallawani. Wallawani means have a safe journey, and it can be hello and goodbye. It's in Aboriginal culture, there's no such thing as hello and goodbye. We always believe we're going to see each other again. So Wallawani is I hope you have a safe journey when you leave, or Wallawani, I hope you had a safe journey when you arrive.
Oh, that's amazing. So Wallawani?
Wallawani.
Oh, awesome. Trisha, thank you so much for chatting with me this afternoon, and congratulations on the dictionary. It's like I said to you, I've only seen parts of it, but it looks just amazing. Well done.
Well, thank you very much. We're very proud of our achievement.
This is Tuesday Drive.